Hello again. This is Anthony Kuzub of the Audio Engineering Society. I'm the Vice Chair of the Toronto section. I am here at Expo 2019 at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation in downtown Toronto. And today I'm joined with one of my very good friends, Warren Beck. Warren Beck, I gotta say, he's got one of those famous audio last names. Kind of has this Canadian ring to it. Where does this famous audio last name come from?
Where does the famous name come from? See you, Sylvia. It comes from my grandfather from the prairies, Yorkton, Saskatchewan.
Yorkton, Saskatchewan.
You ever heard of Yorkton, Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan is the center of the universe.
I always thought so growing up.
Yeah.
It was.
Short Film Festival?
They have one, do they?
Yeah.
Bravo.
There you go. International Short Film Festival.
Is it really international? I don't know these things. This is why I come here to learn.
Center of the universe.
AES teaches you so many things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Dad was born in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, 100-odd years ago. Degree in aeronautical engineering.
Okay.
Then worked with his father repairing refrigerators and freezers during the Depression. Came to Toronto, then got a degree in electronic engineering.
Okay.
Got a job for RCA in the RCA studios here in Toronto, putting needles and styli and ribbons and microphones.
Okay.
And then it grew from there. Ended up working at McCurdy for a little while and decided to approach Mr. McCurdy one day and said, "Hey, you're turning away work. Why is that? We have too much." "Well, how about I take on some of these projects you're turning away?" "Sure, if you have time." The rest is history.
So the history of Ward Beck. So Roger Beck, we have Warren Beck.
And Ronald Ward, who is not with us today, but he is in a way.
There you go. So second generation audio
Nerd.
Hyper nerd.
His word.
Yeah,
really.
It's a big thing. So right now, Warren, you are now you're a product specialist. You are sales, marketing. You are repairs. You are a Renaissance man for HHB Canada right now.
That's right, for HHB Canada. I do that downtown Toronto here at 2 Eastern Avenue with Dave Dysart, Dave Meisner, and the crew.
Okay.
So anything to do with audio, I do repair. So I do repair vintage things, Ward Beck, funny things from England that have a
the British Ward Beck.
The British Ward Beck, I do work on those. American Ward Beck too.
There you go.
And even some Japanese stuff. So I do the full gambit.
So I've been noticing that you're studying up and practicing a lot of network technology. What has changed in some of the support of the products that you're working with?
Well, I hated school growing up and avoided it at all costs. And one day, as I was muddling through life, I met a young fellow who wasn't too dissimilar from me in that way. But he realized that he needed to be able to support himself and get ahead in life and wanted more out of life. And he went on a journey, and I was there for part of that journey.
Okay.
And for one of the few times in my life, I shut up and listened and watched.
Okay.
Doesn't happen often. This doesn't stop. And I took a few last pieces of advice given to me to heart. And I took a step back from where I was in life. I was semi-retired. And saying, okay, do I want a job or do I want a career? Or what do I want? And this fellow told me that I needed a career. In order to get that career, that would involve education. Do I learn tubes and transistors?
Yeah.
That's
history lessons.
That's obsolete
Yeah.
in more ways than one. But he made a suggestion to me, and I took it to heart. And that is learning audio over internet. That is learning internet programming, routing, switching, dynamics of, infrastructure of, communication of, and communication in. And that is truly, I've learned, past 2 years, it's taken me 2 years to learn this, folks, that is the true foundation of the future in what broadcast media will be.
Yeah.
Whether it's 4G, 10G, whatever, it's all IP. So
This is true.
learn the foundations of IP, meld with that the little tiny bit I know of ancient history, and hopefully be open enough to see what's happening currently, follow the right trends to lead to the future.
Absolutely. Well, and some of the products that HHB represents in Canada are leaders in IP technology.
Most assuredly, we have a number of them.
Yeah.
Yellow Tech with their touch-sensitive radio consoles. Drop, plug it in, you suddenly have 4 channels right there live. No assigning, no fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Direct out, you have
Direct out.
conversion, very, very high-quality conversion.
Very much so.
And it's cross-platform, whatever. Maddie, Ravenna, Dante, it does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And of course, merging.
Yeah.
We have merging, which is the pinnacle of the analog to digital conversion, DSD recording, leaders in that, and I'm trying very hard to partner with them to develop a new product.
Okay.
So I am putting on a little bit of my dad's hat and engineering some new product and trying to learn from them to take it again to this, see what's happening around us and go forward with the right path.
Well, it's interesting, with companies like Merging, one of the things they're selling is they're selling the AES 67 2110 core technology as a card.
Correct.
And how is that changing the manufacturing process? Are we finding that manufacturers are, developing products differently because this technology is available, or is having this technology available for license really defining everything that goes around it?
Well, you have a luxurious position of having been somewhat in my dad's head.
Yes, I've
Seeing
been in your dad's head. Yeah.
many of his inventions,
Yeah. Innovations, crazy stuff.
significant number of them are world first stereo broadcast console, first VCA consoles,
He
etc.
invented the scribble strip on a mixing console that had the numerics, like the writing on a console that
Alphanumerics,
every
yeah.
digital console has. It happened in 1973.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's amazing. But there's
But Microcom, I was actually going to Microcom.
Oh, yeah.
Which we really didn't get into because it's not as sexy, one can argue.
yeah, nobody thinks intercoms are sexy in any way, shape, or form.
But that's all dad's.
Yeah.
Like Clearcom wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
A Telex, RTS.
Yep, very much
wouldn't
so.
be here if it wasn't for him. But my point is this card, this Z-Man, Z-Man, of which you're speaking. How does it affect manufacturing today? Well, manufacturing in Ontario is largely dead, but no longer does the engineer, my father in this case, have to redesign, reinvent the wheel each time you go to try to solve a problem in the marketplace.
Right.
If you have a company, the wheels are going to be your way. If he has a company, his wheels are going to be his way.
Right.
Now you have a standard, or at least an infrastructure, upon which you can base your wheel.
It's true. Yeah.
So it's a great starting point, and it shortens development time. It quickens, if you will, implementation.
Yeah.
And it also provides a level playing field for communication in sales and marketing to understand what the engineers need.
I get that. I totally get that. Well, and engineers are lazy. Let's just face it. Like, we're all not, I don't want to do my homework. I don't want to do the math. I don't want to do the work. But I do want to have a qualified solution that I can go to the shelf and go, yes, I know this is going to work. I trust this. I do that. And I very much see that when I use the Merging product for their virtual sound cards, as well as some of their other devices and their innovations of Animan, their network controller, which Nicholas Sturmel is a huge part of it. And it's amazing some of the technology that has come out of it and some of the trends that companies like that are setting.
Well, even the trickle-down technology, how it will find its way to the recording world and beyond.
Yeah.
It's all GUI based. It's all floating cross-point matrix. Again, invented, conceptualized in this context by my father, originated from the telephony industry.
Absolutely.
Ha-ha.
Yeah, it all comes to if you want to solve.
It all starts from telephony.
If you want to solve a problem in audio, look to the telephone industry.
Yep.
They solved it 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing that with SDPs
Hello.
and SIP and all of these network protocols.
It's been done.
It's been done.
Don't look too far.
So from a support point of view, are you finding that customers are looking for network support more than they're looking for software support or product support? Is the network support an integral part of your design process when you're dealing with customers?
Education is the integral process. That in and of itself is the support. If you can educate a client to take a switch and understand the difference between a switch and a router,
Yeah. Yeah.
Start with that.
Start with the words.
Start with the words, the basics.
Yeah.
How to assign a phone number or an IP address to each device rather, and overcome the fear of, holy frickin' moly, it's internet, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
That is more crucial than here's a board to fix your blown up board.
Yeah.
And that will help them more than resistors, capacitors, or programming in Linux.
Yeah, well, and it's all software based, so you have to have those skills. I like to say here at CBC, IT isn't a department; it's a competency. So the increase of IT competency in the regular technicians is super important. Our colleague who's doing the live broadcast stream had to deal with Wi-Fi and networking this camera and making sure there's IPs on this and making sure that the bit rate is okay and that the data path is okay and important to all of these things. So.
Yeah, and the heck with the fact of what button do I push to make it start or stop.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's a whole other control protocol.
Yeah, but that's his career and that's his skill.
Well, but as you go through your IP renaissance, your personal IP renaissance, what offer do you, or what advice do you offer to up and coming engineers who are starting to enter this audio industry as it's changing so rapidly?
I will take the advice I was given. Learn your Cisco CCNA.
Yeah. They've changed all that. It's all already obsolete, just so you know.
I understand that, but it's a place to start.
Yeah, totally.
And you have to keep your paradigm open to change.
Yeah.
So yes, it is obsolete. Recognize that, but use that as your ABCs, as your learning English or French or what have you.
It's like the high school equivalent of networking.
That's right. And that's a place to start.
Yeah.
That gives everybody with whom you communicate a common platform.
Yeah.
By which communication can happen.
Well, but it also allows, hey, I want to hook up this BNC to this MADI port on card number 32.
Totally.
And it's like the difference is, well, on port 32 VLAN 4, I need this
protocol and I need this permission.
So having that language is part of it, and I think that's something a lot of audio engineers don't yet have.
They don't have because they're scared of it because it's stuck back in telephony and broadcast.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, and of course that stuff is hyper intimidating.
Hello.
It's hyper
to begin with.
Yeah. But things
Wear
like Animan and things like Ravenna kind of shield the user from the innards of the control protocol.
If it's designed properly and implemented well, it should shield them.
Yeah.
They don't need to know it, but they should have an understanding of floating cross-point matrix, Globcom.
Yeah.
An understanding of that. So we can troubleshoot, we can route, we can turn on I'm going to drop a brand here, the CalRac console.
Yeah.
And say, well, my microphone is here, my speaker is here, I got to assign it to a knob, to a fader, to a patch, to an out, to a speaker. Yeah.
I like to say that routing a million signals has never been easier, but routing mono has never been so complicated.
And we live in a mono world.
Very much so, yeah. Here we have 2 mono mics, and that's essentially our entire show.
I've never had mono, though.
So have I ever had mono? I once had a case of 5.1. I don't know what that...
That's his joke, folks,
Sorry.
not mine. With a face like that, you got to have a few extra. Anyway,
Doesn't Atmos sound like a disease as well? But it kind of is. But that's just a personal opinion.
that's a personal opinion
Yeah,
there.
we're gonna cut out the. Well, we're live, so I can't cut that out. But you know what, Warren? Thank you so very much for being here. It's a pleasure to always
you
see
for having
you
me.
and have
I
you.
love having you around.
These conversations are few and far between.
They have been, and I'm again sorry for that.
It's all right. Don't worry.
But keep learning and keep encouraging other people to learn.
Absolutely. And just so you know, all the answers for the CCNA exam are online because there is rampant cheating in networking technology. So if you ever want to know all the answers for every CCNA exam, there are Chinese, Indian, Russian, English, and French versions of all the answers available online.
Well, please send me that URL so I can make access to that, because we both know I'm getting older.
The tests are really hard, and when they do the tests, they give you IPv6. So they do a little bit of IPv4, and they talk to you about your IPv4, and then in the test it's all IPv6.
IPv6. I don't doubt it.
They get you on IPv6. But Warren, thanks again.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to the floor and check out some of the displays.
Please do. There's a lot of
happening.
neat stuff here to see.
Excellent. Thank you again.
Thank you.